Hey, everybody doing out there? My name is Rich, and in this video, I really wanted to talk to you about, I would probably say, one of the most important part of the real estate investing process, especially when you're speaking to the seller, because this can make and break the deal. Is pretty much this bad boy right here, the purchase agreement contract. The purchase agreement contract has to be clear in writing, and also you got to be clear to when you're speaking to the seller. I'm noticing when there's a lot of issues or concerns on the seller part is when the purchase agreement contract is not clear. So you definitely don't want to have any type of situation where you're putting things hidden in the contract and then they didn't know about it and they get upset with you and all, because that's really bad for business and the word can get around. So you really want to make sure that they're comfortable with the contract, you're comfortable with the contract, and they clearly understand what's about to happen. And you want to make sure that you have that you put protection for yourself in the contract to make sure that if you can't find an end buyer, that you're able to back out of the contract. Like, for example, on page 2 on our contract, towards the bottom, and right on the bottom where it says special stipulation, we have it clearly stated where it's going to say the buyer shall have 21 business days from execution of this contract to inspect the home. This contract shall be called the buyer due diligence period. And make sure you clearly let them know what the due diligence period says. That's pretty much the time period for where the buyer has to inspect the property, to look over the property. You definitely want to make sure they understand that. And the remainder of this, what it's saying, it said the buyer due diligence period. During this period, this agreement is an option contract, and the buyer may terminate the contract upon notice for any reason. So if you're clearly writing that in the contract and they understand that, listen, you're telling me this price for this property, I'm going to inspect the home. Now, if I come back, you want $40,000 for this property, and it has $40,000 worth of repairs, that's not really a good deal. You're buying it for $40,000, and you're spending $40,000 worth of repairs, and the property only worth not even $100,000. That's not really a good deal. So whatever they're telling you about the property, you definitely want to run your due diligence period and make sure they understand that, listen, I'm going to run my numbers and make sure that this deal makes sense. And if anything, if this doesn't make sense, that unfortunately, we may have to back out of this contract and terminate it. But during that time also, like when you're doing the due diligence period and you got your repairs, estimates, and you're looking at the property, you got pictures, if you're not going to be the end buyer for the property, that'll give you an opportunity to market the property to other investors, other buyers that might be interested. So during that time, you're getting all your ducks in a row, marketing the property, and also in the contract clearly states that you're able to do this also. It also says that, so that's pretty much being the savvy investor, and make sure that that's in the contract also. So once you're able to do that, then it shouldn't be a problem at all. The buyer will be protected. The seller will be happy and all, because you'll be able to purchase the property within the time period you say you're going to purchase the property. And worst case scenario, if you can't find a buyer, or if you're not going to be an end buyer, you can back out of the property without any penalties at all, because it clearly states it in the contract. So definitely, I would say this makes and breaks the deal, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would agree with me. Make sure that you have a clear contract, and if you do, everything should be run perfectly smoothly. Thank you, as always. God bless.